First of all, you got to select a plant that will fit into a pot, and a plant that you don't want in that place. We have a beautiful Brunner here, but there's so many of them. I'm going to move this one. So I'll use my spade, loosen the plant, a couple of spots, work around it. Until you get the whole plant out. This has been in for a couple of years, and lo and behold, we have the plant. Okay, that's that started. Are you still rolling?
I am. Do you want me to stop?
Okay, no. What you can do is break the soil off the side of the plant so it will fit into the pot you have. Like a nice round pot and a mess on the ground. There we go. Here we have an example of a mother plant with a small son or daughter on the other side. So you can divide that up without missing anything. Nice sharp spade down as far as you can. Chop again, and then on the far side. Well, here we have a nice, lovely little plant that you can fit into a pot and as a division. And you look around, you never miss it. Here we are in my bog garden with what's called an obedient plant, but it hasn't been very obedient because it has just spread and spread. So what I'm going to do is take a little off the back. All right, I'm going to have to have a second. But if you can, even with an established plant or whatever, you can take a chunk out, a V out of it, and end up with a nice sample of the plant sale, and you'll never notice it's gone. So you can take all kinds of plants from out of your garden and pot them up. Now we're going to show you how to pot things up. I'm going to show you how to pot things up for the St. George's Anglican Church plant sale. First of all, you start with a selection or sizes of pots that will fit the various kinds of plants you're going to dig. We have a rather large Brunner here, and we start off with, in the bottom of the pot, a little bone meal. Bone meal, as opposed to other fertilizers, has a lot of phosphorus and potash, which promotes root growth, and that's what you need in the pot. So you have a little in the bottom of the pot. You have your soil there. Now, the soil mix we talked about was don't use ordinary garden mix. Use some compost. If you don't have manure, which I have, luckily, you can use a little bit of some fibrous thing like peat moss. The objective is to have a loose soil, so that when you water the pot, the water will go right down to the bottom rather than just on the top. So here we have a Brunner. Where'd the Brunner go? There it is. Which is pretty big. this pot, so I'm going to break some off, he said, hopefully. And then we can, it just fits into the pot. And then we put planting mix down the outside. Now the important thing is lots of people wear gloves. I generally either have forgotten them or whatever. I force the soil down around the plant with my straight fingers. You don't do it this way, you do it with your fingers because there's a lot more pressure. I think that's called early science. It explains it. So if the soil is nice and loose, you can push it down, make sure it's down the sides and around into the bottom of the ball of the plant. The objective is to eliminate air spots, because if there's air at the bottom of the plant somewhere, it will dry out the plant and it will not survive. So, and having put that all around, you take a little sprinkle of bone meal and put it around the side of the plant. Not too much, just a little. And then we'll get to watering in a minute. It's amazing how when you shake the pot back and forth, it levels up nicely. So there we have a Brunner, or Brunera. It is a perennial forget-me-not. So the bloom here is just like a forget-me-not, but it doesn't die like the ordinary ones every year. For the smaller plant, this is the one we stole from the mother. We have a somewhat smaller pot. And the first thing is to put some planting mix in the bottom of the pot. Add a little bone meal, nice and white, you can see that. And then you shake it around. You don't want the bone meal on the actual roots of the plant. Might be a little bit strong. Then you take the plant, and if there's too much root, you take your pruners out of the pocket and prune them off, no problem. And again, shape the ball to fit. There we are. And then you go through the process of adding the planting mix around the edges of the plant, pushing it down with your hands, with your fingers, the ends of your fingers. Add a little bone meal. Bone meal is fine. Now they talk also about blood and bone, but the blood and bone has nitrogen in it, which you don't really need. So there are 3 numbers in a can of this. This is 2-14-0. So 14 is the second one. We got nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash. Phosphorus is what makes the roots grow. So have a low first number and a low last number and a high middle number. Don't use the stuff that you're going to put on your lawn. Anyway, all right, let's get this organized. Okay. Now we're going to demonstrate watering, because watering is absolutely vital or the plant will die. We have 2 choices. You can use your hose with some sort of sprayer thing on the end, or a watering can. Now using a hose, I've set it to the soaker, which means that it comes out and it's reasonably easy to control. Anything else, is too much, it'll spray the soil right out of the pot. So the soaker one, or the idea is to fill them up. Now, the problem, and then you have to wait. The watering can is also good because it does get, you want to water both, you're watering the soil around the pot as well as the soil in the plant ball that we dug out. Because the plant ball was pretty dry. This is the driest May we've had in many, many years. So the plant ball itself will need water. So I'm finding that, and the other thing is when we say water well, that means water them and then water them again, tonight or later. So watering is critical for the plant health. And they will spruce right up. Anything that's gone a little bit wilty will spruce right out. The final thing we have to do is we have to move these plants that we've just potted up into a shady area. So if you go, oh boy, that's heavy. All right, so you pick them up and you put them in the shade like we have over here. That's it from the Master Gardener's Corner. We'll see you at the St. George's Anglican Church sale, plant sale, on the 12th of June. Be there early, and we'll have a great selection of over 1,000 plants for you. Thank you.